Welcome to the SOI Clave video blog number 8. My name is Curtis Clave.
And I'm John Sauter.
Today we're talking about video equipment, consumer and professional grade, and John here is a video expert. I'll let you lead off and I'll just ask some questions and see how this goes.
Great. You know, video's come a long way in the last 5 years. You can get 720 HD cameras now inside your phone, which was unheard of 5 years ago. It's crazy. I mean, the amount of leaps in technology we've seen is crazy. And there's a lot of great things. I mean, if you're just somebody that wants to capture video, the cell phone 720 may be enough for you.
Exactly.
But there's other camera options out there, like the Flip and the Kodak ZI-8, which are those small cameras we talked about in the past that are kind of they're kind of good for somebody that wants to go out and film their kid's soccer game or do something like that. You know, they're pretty good cameras. I mean, they shoot full HD 1080. They shoot 720. They shoot standard 4x3. I mean, they're pretty solid.
What's the price point on like a standard flip cam?
I think now they're like $100 to $150. They're pretty cheap. They shoot pretty high quality video during the day. You take those things out during the night, their sensor's really small, the footage is grainy, it's really not the best. You're not going to have a really good image quality when you do that.
And what about the audio? I mean, does it have a built-in mic, obviously? Is that pretty low quality? Or? Yeah,
the built-in mic's pretty bad, but you know, you can plug in an input to it, you can have a mic plugged into it, and it turns out pretty decently. It's not, you know, not the greatest audio you're going to get, but it's not as bad as you would think also. But the built-in mic that you're shooting around with, not really the best.
And then like we have this mic kit here. What's something like that run? I mean, are there different, obviously, levels? What is this one kind of cost?
This is, you know, with a lav mic here and a receiver and a transmitter. I mean, $1,000 for a decent one. We have a Sennheiser, and Sennheiser's a pretty good brand. I mean, I don't know if your typical consumer is going to want to run around and get a lav mic and get the sender and receiver, but
kind of overkill. But
yeah.
And then what about the main cameras we have here, the Canon T2i, right?
Yeah, the Canon T2i is what we're using. You know, for video, it is equivalent to the 7D. I don't think many people know that, but the video capacity on it is the same as the 7D, which is a little more expensive, but less than the Mark II. The Mark II is a full-frame camera, and it shoots full HD, and it's very professional grade. I think that a T2i and the 7D shoot on a crop sensor. But just as good at image quality, but they have a crop sensor, and you know, let's say you put a 50mm on the Mark II. That is, you put the same thing on a 7D or a T2i, it's going to be equivalent of an 80mm lens. So you need to know some technical things here to really use it properly. But it's a great camera for both photos and videos.
It's interesting. I remember, you know, probably was it 10, even 5 years ago. It seemed like the bigger the camera, the better. And now it's almost like these smaller cameras can deliver just as high a quality image. Sometimes it looks more cinematic, you were telling me, and it's, you know, can you talk about that at all? Or? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, don't let the size of the camera fool you. You know, if you're on a set and you're using a 35mm film camera on a major motion picture, yeah, I mean, those cameras, the Panavision cameras are crazy. But on a consumer, prosumer, even professional end, when you're shooting smaller budget things, you know, the Mark II, they're using it in Hollywood now on TV shows, in movies. Some of the scenes you see in your Hollywood movies are shot on a Mark II. So, you know, that size equals quality isn't really true. I mean, it's a perception, but nowadays these cameras, the DSLRs, great video cameras, awesome photo cameras. But once again, you need to know what you're doing with them. They're not like turn it on, press play, and everything's going to turn out great.
Now, what's a good website to kind of go buy equipment, lenses, filters, all that kind of stuff? I
always recommend B&H Photo. They're out of New York. Great photo and video, very professional. They supply many professional houses. I mean, you go there, if you need something, they'll tell you all the other stuff you need to buy with it. You buy the body of the camera, great. What else do you need? What kind of accessories? What kind of lenses? They kind of spell it out for you on the bottom what's recommended, and they've never really steered me wrong.
And then, I mean, say I go out, I go to B&H, buy a camera, buy my kit, buy my tripod. Is there a good resource, like a website, a book, anything you kind of recommend to kind of get your feet wet?
Yeah, you know, the internet is so great and so powerful. There's so many tutorials online. You go to lynda.com. There's on every program possible. They do have some photography courses. And there's also a book called Understanding Exposure by Brian Peterson. Excellent book. It really will get you dialed in when it comes to the basics of exposure and how to really understand the creative thing. I mean, you can turn a camera on and have all the auto settings, but if you don't know why you're creating that image or what look you want, it's really not going to help you. But Brian Peterson's book is a definite read for anybody getting into photo or video.
Okay, cool. Well, that's it for this week in terms of camera equipment. Maybe next week we'll talk about post-production, give some tips on editing and all that good stuff. I'd like to get some of your guys' feedback. If you have any other equipment you recommend or other websites, we'd love to see it. Shoot us an email, info@soiclave.com, Facebook or Twitter. See you guys next week.
See ya.